I was at my friend's house in another city, just hanging out for the weekend. His place is a good 3-hour drive from mine, and I was planning to head back home that night. We played video games and watched some movies, nothing special, just the usual stuff. It got pretty late, around 11 p.m., when I finally decided it was time to leave. My friend offered me to crash at his place and drive back in the morning, but I wanted to get home and sleep in my own bed. So I said my goodbyes and hopped into my car, getting ready for the long drive back. The road was mostly empty, which was kinda nice because I could drive without much hassle. It was a clear night. There wasn't much moonlight, so the road was pretty dark. My car's headlights were basically the only source of light on that lonely highway. About an hour into my drive, things started to get weird. I was on this stretch of road that cuts through a dense forest. The trees were tall and kind of loomed over the road, making it even darker. I remember feeling a bit uneasy, but I brushed it off as just being tired. Then, out of nowhere, I saw something up ahead. At first, I thought it was a deer or some other animal, but as I got closer, I realized it was standing on 2 legs. I slowed down, trying to figure out what the heck I was looking at. My headlights hit it fully, and I swear my blood ran cold. The thing was green, with the long legs and their arms that almost touched the ground. Its skin looked rough, like it was covered in scales or something. Its eyes reflected the light from my car, glowing in this eerie way that made my stomach churn. I couldn't make out much more, because my brain just couldn't process what I was seeing. It wasn't like any animal I'd ever seen before. I slammed on my brakes, coming to a stop just a few feet away from it. For a moment, we just stared at each other. I was frozen, my heart pounding in my chest. Then it moved. It took a step towards my car, and I snapped out of my trance. I floored the gas pedal, my tires squealing as I sped past it. I glanced in my rearview mirror, and to my horror, it was running after me. This thing was fast. I was going 60, then 70, and it was keeping up. I could see its long limbs pumping as it chased me down the road. I felt like I was in some kind of nightmare. But it was all too real. My mind was racing, trying to figure out what to do. I couldn't outrun it, so I decided to take a sharp turn down a side road, hoping to lose it in the forest. I veered off the main road and onto a dirt path. The rough terrain slowed me down, but I hoped it would slow the creature down too. I kept glancing in my mirrors, but I couldn't see it anymore. My heart was still racing, and I didn't dare stop. I just kept driving deeper into the forest, hoping I'd find a way out. After what felt like an eternity, I saw a clearing up ahead. I sped towards it, but just as I reached the edge of the forest, my car hit something and came to a jarring stop. The impact threw me forward, and my head slammed against the steering wheel. Dazed, I tried to get my bearings. My car was stuck, its front wheels sunk into a ditch. I didn't have time to think. I could hear something moving in the trees behind me. I fumbled with my seatbelt, my hands shaking, and managed to get it off. I threw open the door and stumbled out, my legs feeling like jelly. I started running, not knowing where I was going, just needing to get away. The forest was thick, and branches scratched at my face and arms as I pushed through. I could hear the creature behind me, its heavy footsteps crashing through the underbrush. I was gasping for breath, my lungs burning, but I couldn't stop. I had to keep going. Then I felt something sharp rake across my back. I screamed in pain and stumbled, but somehow managed to keep my feet. I could feel blood trickling down my back, soaking into my shirt. The creature was right behind me, and I knew I couldn't outrun it. In a desperate move, I veered off the path and dove into a thicket of bushes. I curled up, trying to make myself as small as possible. My heart was pounding so hard, I was sure it would give me away. I could hear the creature moving around, searching for me. Its guttural growls sent shivers down my spine. I don't know how long I stayed there, but eventually the sounds faded. I waited, too scared to move, until I was sure it was gone. Slowly, I crawled out of my hiding spot, my whole body trembling. My back was throbbing, and I knew I needed to find help. I stumbled through the forest, not sure where I was going. Eventually, I came across a small road and flagged down a passing car. The driver must have seen the terror in my eyes because they didn't hesitate to stop and help me. They called the police, and I was taken to the hospital. I haven't driven that road since, and I never will again. Something is out there lurking in the forest, and I hope I never see it again.